Bonjour everyone and welcome to our Matchday 4 coverage of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship from Narbonne in the south of France, where we've had the best 20s players on the planet doing their thing across the last fortnight or so. And next up it is Australia taking on Italy in the second and fifth place semi-final. The winner of this one will take on Argentina, who progress after rolling Wales earlier today at this very ground. So here's an in-progress score. Ireland v Scotland, 7-3. It is the Irish up against the Scots in the 9th place semi, whilst Georgia and Japan will go at it a little later tonight down the road in Perpignan. Here in Narbonne, it is a triple header. So there is the full-time result from that first game where Argentina were wonderful against Wales, 39-15. And as we said, Italy set to take on Australia next up. Following that, it'll be England against South Africa. A huge semi-final awaits, and closing out the day, New Zealand v France in Perpignan. Well, it's great to have you with us for the coverage of this next game, the fifth place semi-final between the Azzurrini, Italy, and Australia. I'm Sean Maloney, and joining me for the call in this one, it is a good afternoon to former England Sevens captain Rob Vickerman. And Vicks, we saw the Aussies push New Zealand all the way in their final pool game. Can they repeat the dose here against Italy?
I think they're going to have to try and come out with that same type of confidence they had against the All Blacks. Sometimes when you play New Zealand, certainly for an Australian team, you have to really hit your straps. It's a very different prospect today against Italy. They've gone incredibly well this tournament, but I do believe they're going to have a little bit more freedom than perhaps they had against the All Blacks.
Australia suffered a shock first-up loss against Wales in their tournament opener. On that same day, Italy were too good for Scotland. These guys know a thing or two about getting it done. They had a solid Six Nations up here in their 20s format of the tournament, and the likes of Money and Rugby Lamaro as well operate beautifully in the back row spot.
Yeah, really looking forward to see this Italian go with a little bit of the past form they've showed this tournament, and certainly one of them, number 11, to keep an eye out for, Donofrio.
On the Australian side of the ledger, well, it's a big in, and he was there for that game against New Zealand. Hamish Stewart, the boom youngster from Queensland. Matty McTaggart has pace out wide. Another one to keep an eye on, Jordan Patea, as well as Simisi Tupou for Australia. Up front, big ins with Hawkins and Blythe as well. It is a good evening to you watching on and back in Australia, or wherever you are dialed in around the world, for this next up game at the World Rugby Under-20 Championship in the south of France. These brilliant youngsters have been setting fire to the fields throughout the south of France across the last fortnight. Just 2 match days remain. It's been a well-supported tournament as well. Still only around about 4 o'clock local, so those from in and around Narbonne set to flood in across the afternoon and into the night. The final game here on match day 4 has England and South Africa in the big semi. That will be a belter. So too this one. And this Italian side, well, they are so unpredictable. Terrific up front. They're great scrummages, but they've also got the ability to cut you open out wide through the likes of Andre De Merci and the man at the back, Michelangelo Biondelli. He is a real handful also. Time now to settle in for the anthems, and first up it'll be that of Italy.
Tout d'abord pour l'Italie, Fratelli d'Italia. Mesdames, Messieurs, en l'honneur de l'équipe d'Australie, Anthems Australian Pair.
So here's a look at how the Italians line up. Romano, Lucardi, Mancini, Pari round out that front row. Canone, Iacchizzi in the second row pairing. Ruggeri, Lamaro, the captain, and Mani complete the forward pack. And through the backs, Rob Vickerman.
Oh, looking forward to seeing Casillo be a little architect at the half-back with DiMarco alongside him. Done a fair with the one I mentioned. He is outstanding so far this tournament. Medina, Di Mazzi, Battista and Biondelli.
And a final look at the Australian squad. Hooper, Maafu, Ross up front, Blythe and Hawkins, two quality second rowers, Wood, McGrath and Taufa. And then through the backs, Lonergan looking to Sedlight, Hamish Stewart, who has the flyer, Patea and Tupou to work with. Bailey Kunzel can do good things as well, can orchestrate and create. And at the back it is Lawson Crichton from the Brothers Club in Sydney, set, ready to go. Our referee, Ali De Luca from Argentina, and the winner of this game will face Argentina in the 5th place final. Australia went down to Wales in their opener. They also dropped the game against New Zealand. They were too good for Japan, while Italy, well, they beat Argentina and Scotland in their pool before crashing against England. The countdown is over. Italy v Australia. From Narbonne in the south of France, this is the World Rugby Under-20 Championship. Sean Maloney in commentary, alongside me, former England Sevens captain Rob Vickerman. Lonergan for Stewart. Gets plenty on that one. It's a good chase from Patea. Patea comes through with Tupou. Up went DiMarco, came down heavy. Italy looking to load the numbers to this near side through Canone. And now looking for the box kick. There goes Casillo. That one over jumped by Crichton, but it's going to come down for Stewart. Look at him pump his legs in contact. The Aussie fly half. Seen a ton of him playing Super Rugby with the Queensland Reds this year. That man there in the blue headgear looking to bounce that one over the top of his opposite number. DiMarco's got to go back and tidy up. Patea, another graduate from the World Rugby Under-20 Championship. We saw him make his debut with Queensland this year as well.
Yeah, some pretty exciting youngsters already seeing Stewart's impact in the game. Now, interestingly, when you look at a fly half, it's worth looking at their breakdown, how they like to play a game. So his last outing against New Zealand, we mentioned, he had a significant amount of kicks, 18 kicks out of hand, just 5 carries, and only 15 passes. So he does tend to kick more so than run, and certainly when you kick as well as he does, that is understandable.
That one overthrown at the back. It's going to sit up for Stewart, though. Stewart. Some nice early touches from Hamish Stewart. Good skip pass there. As Australia edge their way into the Italian 22. Out the back now. Over the top from Tupou. Matty McTaggart was easy pickings for the rush defence. He had to launch up and pull that one in. Afu. Lonergan. Stewart. Happy to float it over the top again. Pattaya sits up nicely for Jordan Pattaya. Pattaya has runners inside. Pattaya goes over the top initially. Picks up, goes again. Good heads-up play from Jordan Pattaya. Ross. 5 away Australia. Lonergan for Ma'afu. Lonergan again, Stewart. It's a nice front-on hit. Kunzul put down. Ross. Couple of handles from the Aussie tight head. Unfortunately, the man on the outside grasped it, and now Australia going to have to scoot back and pull in the downfield kick from the Atsurini. A little bobble on the deck from McTaggart. Holds it up there for Hoopert, Harry Hoopert. The prop getting back and lending a hand. Lonergan. Nice stop and go from Wood. Australia have a nice backline set, but Stewart opts to put boot to ball. Pattaya went up. It'll come down for the green and gold as well. McWright tidies up. Lonergan. Shift ball is good from Hooper to Ross. Two props sharing the pass and go there. Now it is knocked on and will come back. No advantage for that initial knock on from the Italians.
Oh, plenty to digest there. Lots of different styles of play on offer. And we're seeing already Stewart, his kicking game really is exceptional. Those competitive kicks, you've got the likes of Tyre out wide. He's a big man, isn't he? Wouldn't have minded seeing a sidestep in his last effort one-on-one with the fullback. But these little interplays really does show it's going to be a different type of outfit and challenge for this Italian team. Australia with real talent across the board. When you get the big men up front giving those short offloads, it makes it an all-court game you have to try and defend. Very difficult. I like the look of Tupou. He's so threatening in the centre, isn't he?
Just didn't see enough of the spud in their first game against Wales. He was closed out of that game. Samisi Tupou, another Super Rugby debutant this year. Off the back of his work in the Australian 20 side. He's capped with the Melbourne Rebels is Samisi Tupou, and we'll be looking for a handle here. Sets up camp alongside Bailey Kunzul. But the counterweight from Italy at the scrum is excellent. And now Tupou's got to go to work indeed. Australia very nearly bringing the intercept. It was McTaggart almost racing away with it towards the other end.
Knock on.
Just got enough on it.
Whoa, heart in the mouth stuff there, wasn't it? Attacking play, you can see the scrum obliterated, the Italian dominating there. Lovely little pass. De Masi tried to pick out his wingman, couldn't quite get it all the way across to Donofrio. We know what would happen if he did get it. And then conversely, nearly went the other way. Crichton so close to claiming that one. It was McTaggart with the right paw.
So Italy really putting it to Australia in the previous scrum. Maybe they're going to dial it up a touch more here.
Bind.
Luca.
Set.
From Argentina, our ref, and just asking for a quick reset.
We've seen already, scrum's such a pivotal part of these under-20 campaigns.
You already inside when I say set.
You would not believe some of these men were 18, 19, 20-year-olds, such as their physical development. They really are big, big units. You're talking about 120 kilograms plus. That's a lot of meat on show. And when they come into collide, it's got to be technically accurate as well. The Italians, as we've already seen, astute in this area.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Casilio pops it in, and Australia hang tough for the moment against this quality Italian scrum. Speaking of quality, that's a booming shot from Crichton. And again, they go in hard. Tafa. Repeat shots from Tafa.
Advantage.
Penalty advantage here.
Well, not a whole lot of explanation there. I think the referee was lifting his arm up to say he needed to get back on his feet, I assume.
Okay. I'm just lost in translation there from the arm of Paulo De Luca out of South America.
So as the low tackle comes in, he's suggesting that he wasn't on his feet there.
This is your
Soon,
mark, okay?
as McWright gets off his feet, then it's an offence to be there. But that is a great tackle, Crichton, isn't it? Really did stop him. When you look at those types of tackles on the fly, not easy to do. Get your head in the right place. It just stops all momentum.
Maul!
Italy pull it
Vantage knock
down
on.
and then drop it cold.
Advantage knock on.
Well formed initially, but went without the seed. Now Stewart to
Advantage
touch.
over.
Love an early arm wrestle. The big forwards finding them. The questions the
This is your mark.
players there trying to make sure they're all on the same page with these set-piece plays. We saw the last game how Wales really struggled to get any type of platform, and it can impact all types of attack.
Lucardi to the front, good throw, well taken. This time around they hang on to it, the Italians, and they creep towards the 22.
He's from the beginning there.
And they come through Lucardi. Well supported the Italians here in
Same
Narbonne,
maul.
in France. Good composure as well. Taking their time, sucking the Aussie defenders in and around the rolling maul.
Stop
Cilia
once.
doesn't want it just yet.
Use it, blue.
And Chini Paris at the back, peels off. McWright goes low. Over the top goes Hoopert. He's a good on baller at the breakdown, is Hoopert.
Gold.
Nice element of his game. Mafu in making the tackle. Australia looking for the counter here, just looking to disrupt the flow of the Italians. Just grinding their way up the park at the moment, Italy. Now they come in on the hard line, but they drop it cold again. Stewart looks
the ball
up.
touched me.
Ball's
The ball touched
caught
me.
the leg there of
sorry.
Paulo De Luca, so Stewart will have to go back, toss the ball to Ryan Lonergan, and it'll be an Australian scrum feed.
Well, the forward trying to get a hold of the game for Italy here. They really do pick and go. They're very physical outfit. We've seen already their scrum. They're rocking a 95% scrum success, so they expect them to look for that as a default. But as soon as you run that hard line back into the mix, Medina, the 12, it's a common tactic for a lot of teams to use your inside centre, the number 12, to really get that platform, to then absorb the defenders to go from there with quick ball. But if you're running into a yellow wall, you've got to make sure your hands are out early.
Are you okay?
And you've got to brace yourself for one big collision.
If you're an Aussie fan and you didn't see how things played out against New Zealand in their final pool game, the Aussies were right in that one. It was just one key score set up by Viliami Karoi from New Zealand that broke that one open. But they were in it up to their eyeballs.
And it was a pretty incredible piece of individual skill. You think about how close you get in games like that. Just takes someone like Karoi to have made the difference. But Australia well and truly were in that. In a game they probably didn't think they're going to do that well in, considering the rest of their results. But the team looking ready to establish themselves in this game.
Bind. Set. I'm going that way.
It was a big swing, wasn't it, Rob Vickerman, compared to what New Zealand had done to Australia at the Oceania Championships earlier this year, where New Zealand just went crazy in the final of that one, Australia finishing second. But as the tournament goes on, you get the benefit of continuity, of match play alongside one another, and they should really be looking to close this out with a bang and set up a shot at 5th place on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at it, they'll be disappointed with losing to Wales in that first game, but they've got some other players back in. You mentioned Super Rugby experience. That means so much when you get these players into your squad. It really does lift you.
Line again to the short side. Stewart looks up, has Patea. Patea Almost gets past his opposite. Man, that's a jarring hit from the captain, Lamaro. There was some venom in that one. Lonergan, Stewart. Stewart goes high again. He's kicked off and inside these first 12 minutes. That's kicked up the park by Italy. Stewart again. Now rushed into his clearing kick, and it is a good one off the boot of Hamish Stewart.
It's a composed clearance there. See the scrum out, the way he kicks. A little bit of Beric Barnes about him, isn't there? But that is one jarring shot you said there about the commitment needed. The Italians coming in, flying from an absolute distance to get his shoulder in. Lamaro is a captain for a reason of this team. You see your leader put in those hits, you follow him.
Well, he set up the match-winning play with a similar shot against Scotland where they look to be gone. Italy in their opener up in Beziers. That was a remarkable finish to that game where it was Italy getting it done deep into injury time. Thanks to Mikel Lamaro. Sapping conditions here in Narbonne as well. It's been a mixture of light rain and humidity. Italy now. Italy break clear, lovely feet, and it's going to be Italy who open up with an absolute cracker. Giovanni D'Onofrio.
Well, give him big raps at the top of this game for a reason. This man has had one wonderful tournament. D'Onofrio pops up all over the place. He's quick, he's agile. He's had absolute worldies so far in that tournament. His left foot, right foot combo there, absolutely. Rinses Crichton, then off he goes, clear track as he takes flight. We see it again, left foot, right foot, so hard to do, stop, start. He kicks on the burners and there he goes, celebrating before he puts it down, and rightly so.
Five plays 0 early on. Italy up over Australia. And DeMarco with the chance to bounce it out to a 7-point lead. Following that superb score from Giovanni D'Onofrio from US Rugby Benevento. Kicking into the breeze here, DeMarco. DeMarco pulls that one away to the left, and the score stays. Italy 5 with Australia yet to score.
Well, he's a man about the town. He often has a lot of involvements in games. He's got some really good numbers this tournament with his carries, his line breaks. It's his third try this tournament, as we've seen, so he is one name to look out for. When he gets it, get ready to be entertained from him.
Lovely take from Big Harry Hawkins. Two-handed grab from the giant lock. Stewart deep. In the line comes Crichton. Crichton no way through. Monaghan finding Wood. Carries well. Stewart. Little tuck ball there for Mafu. Mafu rolling his way up the park. Wood again.
4!
Lonergan. Stewart steps into it. Tupou. It's overrun on the outside from Tafa. And Italy look to disrupt. Italy rip it back from the Aussies.
Good turnover.
Kick downfield. Looking for this to sit up. The Italians, it's going to do the right thing initially, and then it was knocked on by Albert Einstein Batista. Australia on the counter now. Through Crichton. Crichton needs some support. It arrives now. Lonergan, quick ball.
Play on.
Wood. Mafu again. Long period of the ball being in play here. Hoop it. Lonergan. Kunzel, lovely hands, terrific shift along the line here from the green and gold. McWright, 10 away. Looking to reply that try moments ago from Giovanni Donofrio. Hupert shapes the pass, goes himself. Hupert.
Away, tackle!
Stewart trying to cut his way through the Italian defence. Ross.
Advantage.
Hupert again, penalty advantage for Australia. He's close, he's Hupert. Line again, numbers to the left, just needs to shift it. And he finds Hawkins.
Gappy, I think we have a
Hawkins was a man who got Australia rolling, and the big guy rounds it out.
Well, it's one thing being big, but he's using it to his advantage. Hawkins, the restart was outstanding. Took it on the fly. And then when he came around the corner, you were not stopping him.
I think it was just penalty.
So physical, moving that quickly for a big man that close to a line, especially when you're over 2 meters, you can reach it from a fair way out. A bit of a slow breakdown, but this is where the momentum is. De Masi flying out the line for the Italians. You've got to be careful creating that dog leg.
Foul play on the screen. He does dive at the player's ankles with no arms. So time off.
Here, a little bit of an issue with a big piece of foul play.
Might be a yellow card going the way of Italy here.
Just going to show you the first angle now, mate.
Yes.
Pali DeLuca is getting some help from Shane McDermott, our TMO. I think it's for the old chop tackle down low, no arms. What's your take, Rob Vickerman?
Next angle now,
That's
mate.
really dangerous. You could see there's no intent whatsoever to wrap an arm. And as soon as you get in that position, Mancini parry there, very, very dangerous, because you're talking knees and ankles been buckled from the sheer amount of weight. The whole point of a tackle is you wrap your arm. That was not.
It's penalty kick only.
Penalty kick.
Okay. Captain. Captain.
There might just be a warning here.
I have a no-arm tackle of number 3. Please be careful with that. I don't want any more. Okay?
Well, he's explained it, but I've got to debate that, because if you want to stamp this out of the game, and rightly so, because it's dangerous, it needs to be a far greater sanction. I think he's lucky to get the penalty there. The reason being, the referee even said it was a no-arms tackle.
Okay, it's 5-5, and it's Lonergan with the kicking duties. The scrum half from the Vikings club in Canberra, Lonergan. Lines it up. 15 in from touch. There's the perfect view. And it is away to the right. So 5-5 it stays after 20.
See it again. The big men round the corner. One of the best tacklers in this tournament, let alone this game, is number 7 for Italy, Omaro. Even he can't stop him.
Vix, I know you love Australia, and you love the name of the club that Big Harry first started playing rugby with, the Bowen Mud Crabs. How good. The Muddies will be cheering Big Harry. It's the early hours of the morning back in Oz. Good way to start your Wednesday, watching the next crop of potential Wallabies do their thing from the south of France. They are all square here with Italy. That is a tidy ball out the back. Super pill from Biandelli. Riccardi, the hooker, sets alight Modena. They rushed up, the Aussies. That made some room on the inside, which Amaro very nearly exploited with the one-handed offload.
So play advantage. Good advantage.
The only advantage here for the Italians. Looking for the try scorer again, and he pulls it in again. Giovanni keeps it alive. Back for the little flyer. Whoa!
Okay, TMO check.
Oh, bravissimo, Giovanni Donofrio.
The try is okay. I have a
He
TMO call
is
against goal.
killing it for the moment.
I don't know.
Well, the try is okay, but the
Time off?
referee's just stopped the whistle for this.
TMO, please.
Check.
Pali,
with
what I'm
the
going to show
TMO.
you is a contact with the foot to the head area by gold 6.
Okay.
He is attempting to go for the ball, but it is contact with the head.
Jamie.
So as you may well have heard there, contact with the head of someone's foot.
This is the first
Accidental,
images
so they
now.
say.
So we're having a look here.
Got a
Michael
higher
Wood
shot for you now.
is the man. There he is. Trying to get his left foot on the ball there, and he's caught the arm, I think, of Andrea Damasi.
I think it's going to be harsh if that is
You
through
know,
against him. You can
he
see he's
can't
trying
kick
the
ball,
leg pick.
So he's trying to do an illegal action.
Pali, those are all the angles, so
Okay. What's it, the number of the player?
it is 6 gold.
Okay, so I can see that 6 goals. Tries to kick the ball in the rack. That's an illegal thing. And because of that action, he kicks the head of the Italian player. So I have no option. It will be red card.
Agreed.
Wow.
6 gold.
Captain and 6 gold, please.
Wow.
I mean, if we're talking dynamics of movement in a breakdown, when you're picking someone's leg and you're trying to leverage their weight, for you to then
This is the
think about
situation.
that.
We have a rack form. He tries to kick the ball. That's an illegal thing. For that action, you kick the head of an Italian player. I have no option. It's a red card.
Michael Wood, he can't believe it.
I've got a degree of
Time
shock
back
as
on.
well, I think, after that one, Shawnee. I think it's one of these things. In the close contact from that leverage position, at no point was there intent of kicking the ball, yet alone ahead.
Yeah. Good.
Very, very tough call on Wood.
He just doesn't know what's hit him. He's meandering off thinking, hang on a second. How? Anyway, Italy looking to make it a 7-point game. Misses the target. 10-5 is the score. I mean, it was a terrific try from Donofrio. He's got 2. Here he is again. He brought in the kick, fed the man on the inside, then I'll have another go on the out.
Well, I love it. He just does not accept that tackle, does he, at all? He's dynamic. He's got great feet, bounces, and sadly the story is about Wood, but that was outstanding finish from Donofrio.
So it's 15 on 14. Australia with a man red-carded. Michael Wood will take
Stop, blue.
no
3,
further
2.
part.
Number 6,
Crichton,
stop. Advantage.
penalty advantage here for Australia. Crichton spins out of 1. Almost got through the Italian line. Stewart. Little bobble there from the Aussies. We're playing the penalty advantage anyway, so no real
Offside,
damage
number
done.
6 after the kick.
So just think about
Offside.
this technically now. You've lost your blindside
Number 6.
flanker. Straight away it means you have to have a whole lot of graft shared from the rest of the pack. 7 men now taking the work of 8. And usually number 6, the most industrious of workers. So expect that to be a significant ask. Breakdowns are going to be a whole lot harder. They'll have to leave them a lot more. Australia. That is the action. You could see perhaps the movement was his hip swinging round to try and kick the ball, but ultimately that has been declared a red card offence.
Lonigan, he's a man lining it up. .40 out, Lonigan. First conversion narrowly missed. Did strike it well though. Distance shouldn't be a drama for Ryan. And he does have the benefit of the breeze at his back. It's a good hit. And the margin is back to 2.
Well, he sailed that one a long way past the in goal. Solid contact. When you've got a kicker that can go from there, that's exactly what you need here. We're seeing it again. This is going to be the story of the day, the red card. The left foot swinging round. At no point was there intent to kick ahead. We'll have to make that clear, but the action has been sanctioned.
Deep with a restart, Italy. And that enables Tafa to get a good run up back towards the D.
So an interesting discussion on this will be, Shawnee. We saw the first instance of
Be careful with the timing.
TMO being called in for the no-arm tackle. Now, for me, that type of incident can be significantly dangerous, because if you don't use your arm in tackles, you can dislocate knees, you can do some serious injury. There, Wood, it was a motion where he was trying to play the ball, got his timing wrong. He was currently picking a player up. For me, that intent is not there and should not have been a red. But I'm sure we'll move on and see some good action ongoing.
Captain, option.
I guess the only other thing potentially worth noting around that is that
Yes, Captain.
the way it compounded was
Line
that
out.
he was doing something illegal, kicking the ball in the ruck, which we know is against the laws, but he actually was trying to rake it back with his foot.
Yeah,
that was the motion, which is okay.
Yeah, it is. So if you are striking the ball, as in kicking the ball with the front of your foot, that is deemed illegal. If you hook it back, which he was trying to do,
Play on.
it is play on. Now, I understand why they do it. The whole game of rugby at the moment is looking at trying to get rid of these incidents. I just don't think it's the right call.
Hawkins, the try scorer for Australia, pulls that line out in, and they're just going to try and settle it down, play a bit of field position here, Australia. And they get a good shot on the ball, the breakdown too. It was Lefatusi Ma'afu who went in and won the Aussies the penalty.
Well, I said about sharing workload. If you've got a prop forward that can make those types of turnovers, you're going to have a good day. The Sizer one is actually the hooker, Ma'afu, but he is a real block, isn't he? Going to be difficult to move him over the ball. His frame significant, low to the ground, but nimble enough to get the turnover. Need plenty more of those without your blind side on the pitch.
Now he's got to get it done at the line out, Ma'afu.
Wait. Open the gap.
Line out lifts off the change as well. You lose your blind side. Is both a lift there and a lifted, so.
Went over the top, fell into the arms momentarily of Tom Ross, who in turn knocked on. Italy clear with a kick. Now it's with Crichton. Lonergan. Stewart. That is out in front for Patea. A little too far out in front.
Those two definitely on the same wavelength, though, aren't they? You can tell, because Stewart likes to play that flat, it straight away makes that an option for the wide pass.
Captain, option.
And Patea
Option.
prowling on the outside whenever Stewart has the ball, as any winger should be, because his skill set's clearly good enough to hit you.
Non so niente, li sfidiamo lì, andiamo! Rischio.
So Australia opting to stay with 7 and move Tafan to the blind side, so playing without the 8, which means Italy may well want to keep this ball in the scrum, try and milk that penalty. You're basically talking 115 kilograms weight difference every time there's going to be a scrum now.
You hear the shouts there of Andiamo from the Italians. Let's go, let's go, let's go. They did have the march on the Australians as well. Before it got scrappy at the back for Casilio. Good jarring tackle on Canone.
Ball is here. Back.
It's a tidy shift in contact from Mancini Pari.
Good.
Down to Crichton. Patea with Tafa. Patea shapes the kick. Jordan Patea. Nice little burst from the number 11. Ma'afu holds it up for Stewart. Stewart, their numbers to the right now. Here they come, Australia. Tupou, Samisi Tupou around the corner from Ma'afu. Keeps it alive, back to Stewart. It is raining platinum 5-pointers in Narbonne.
Well, we saw some pretty specials today. That try was up their first try in the tournament for Stewart, and it was an absolute worldie again. Lovely interplay. First of all, the dummy kick to get him in the position. Stewart gets the ball back on the inside, lifts it up on the shoulder for Tupou. Off he goes, and watch the roll around. That offload, Mafu continued the motion.
Good, thank you.
Offload once more to the man who started it, Stewart. We've seen some pretty special things today, and it just continues to rain down tries.
Italy have jagged two brilliant scores as well through Giovanni D'Onofrio. Aussie coaching staff headed up by Jason Gilmore.
We'd be pretty happy having watched that.
And Monaghan whips through the extra two. 15-10, 10 a run before the break.
The little inside ball, one-handed, and then Tupou just attacking it, staying fast, staying strong, round the corner, LeBron James style offload.
I do like your likening of Hamish Stewart to Berwick Barnes, former Wallaby, Waratah and Queensland Red. That's a good pickup from you, Rob Vickerman.
I'll just stay away from South African cricketers after my last reference, but he's one of these players, he's got the skill set. You see so many Aussie fly-halves come through that are so confident with hands on the ball, the skill set to boot, and the kicking game
Captain,
is probably what sets him apart.
We have option. Line now to scrum. Scrum, okay, good.
Let me ask you this, Rob Vickerman. If you've done it, you've played
Scrum.
Premiership 15s throughout the UK. If you do get reduced to 14 men, you cop a red card. How does it change your mindset for the remainder of the game?
It's a really good question, actually. In terms of the actual mindset, you've got to just cope with doing more work. You've got to have understanding that you've got to put in a bit more. You've got to be a bit more supportive. The biggest difference is for the other back rowers. If you lose your 6, your 7 and your 8 then becomes hugely different in how they play the game. 8 turns to more of a 6.5, if you like, so they've got to do more grind. The 7 can't fetch as much. They can't be over the ball because they've got a lot more link play and a lot more support play. Ultimately, scenarios are practiced in training, but to think about losing a blindside for what's going to be 60 minutes of the game is a tough challenge.
Wait, 9. No, 9.
Called out of it,
Offside. The ball was still
and able
inside.
to make the tackle, Casilio, and Australia no advantage there, so they'll
Number
go
9, offside.
back to halfway
The ball
where
was still
Australia will
inside.
have
Number 9.
the penalty awarded their way.
9.
I mean, the only positive is, in terms of individual positions, if you were to pick one
Number 9
position
offside.
that would be easier to incorporate, it probably would be the blind side. I say this specifically because if it's a second rower, it's an out-and-out line-up option gone. If it's a back or a centre or fly half, obviously a bit more pivotal in how they play the game. So you can absorb them as a back row forward, but you just lose that attacking threat and defensive capability largely around the breakdown. And obviously, as we saw from Wood's effort so far, he was pretty handy in and around that area.
Well, Casilio couldn't have had any more number of warnings. The ref told him time and time again, come out, you're offside, you're offside. Didn't listen
Blue,
in,
don't close the gap.
and now he's going to have to go to work in D, inside his 22. Ma'afu to the middle, Australia's line out looking infinitely better than it did. Through the early stages of the tournament, that one knocked on by Tupou. Really want to go on quick. Trying to up the tempo of the game here,
Knock on there.
and
You knock on.
that run brought some groans from the crowd. It was Fraser McWright going low.
Yeah, Eric Outs are now creeping up. Tupou in tandem with Knizi, just not able to hold it. That's a lovely little centre play they try when
The mark is
outside
inside.
centre runs hard and straight.
Yeah.
The gap is often opened up because it's at the line. It's all the more difficult to hold. We've seen a few handling errors now, up to 7. 3 for Italy, 4 for Australia, and that's not what you want.
Which
These
player?
types of games are very high energy, loss of action, but as soon as you lose the accuracy, it becomes a bit stop-start, and nobody, including the players, want that to happen.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Really looking to gain some vicinity here. Upper man.
Penalty!
Trying to tell DeLuca, look at this. This is excellent control from the Italians at the base of the scrum. And now he blows a whistle for the penalty.
And technically, he was suggesting they were staying down. That's going to happen every single scrum. You have the man advantage. The only thing that Australia can do is put in the extra man to try and get a bit more weight and ballast behind it. But then you're going to lose one of your backs. It really is a difficult position to be in.
What was the call there for?
His hand action was standing up. He didn't say that, but that's what his hand action was. If they're moving forward, he wouldn't call it straight away. If you can keep making them go backwards, as they did there, you're going to take that advantage. Normally, he would have kept his arm out for longer, but didn't feel it was necessary.
Wait. Good, yeah.
Italy throw it over the top there to Mancini Pari. Great defense from Bailey Kunzel. Oh, that is wonderful from Bailey Kunzel. Drove into the tackle, copybook shot, and just kept marching.
The best thing about that is he's squeezing the legs. When you're in that position and you're going backwards, it's a frightening place to be. You squeeze the legs together, pull him into your body, then you march backwards.
Just one thing.
What a great tackle that was from Kunzel there. And again, we're seeing, as we did in the last game, heavy weighted possession to one of the teams, 60% to Australia. Just need a little bit more territory to go with that possession.
Number 8, be careful.
And it means that the Italians have to do a lot of work. 53 tackles we're seeing on screen and 14 missed tackles. This most definitely, not one of them. What a shot that was.
Brave stuff from Australia. They spent the last 15 with just 14 men on the park and will continue to do so for the remainder of this game. There's Kunzel again, the man who made the tackle that gave them this field position. Tapa bounces out of one.
Tackle!
Lonergan up for Australia's opening try scorer, Hawkins.
Tackle, release!
Lonergan. Kunzel bobbles it. Lifts it up there for Crichton. Good phase play this from the Australians. Should back for Arthur's gone forward though.
Forward pass.
I mentioned the stop-start. It's creeping in, isn't it? You can tell. That extra person we're seeing prowling.
Are you okay?
Wood. Making his way probably to get changed.
Time off, please.
But it means you've just not got that person coming round on the fly, which means that inside pass isn't always the option. They're waiting for him. Stewart gets flat.
So he jumped up.
Matthew in front.
Shifting in the middle, changing in the middle.
15-10 the score. We've got just under 4 to play in this first half.
It's great to see Italians been so competitive. Actually read recently about Conor O'Shea's involvement with the Italian setup, and he said the most important position that he filled was the head of the under-20s and performance programme. So when you look at these types of numbers about success from gain line and carries, that comes through a rugby education, which these Italians simply do not get. In schools in Italy, you do not play sport. You have to do so outside in a club. So straight away trying to get that education, that rugby involvement is very difficult to do. Conor O'Shea said that this will be the worst under-20s they're going to produce, which is some compliment. They're going to get better from now on.
They were good through the Six Nations.
Very good, and that's his point, that this is a really positive way of looking at it. From now on, Italy are going to produce far better rugby players, specifically this age group.
They were good at last year's under-20 championships as well. They are promising words to hear. Australia, though, really serve it up here, and it's getting a little heated in the middle.
Captain, enough.
What's that? Is that rugby, really?
Captain, enough. Enough, both. Enough both. Enough. Number 10. Number 10.
Don't tip tackle me in the fucking middle, alright?
Time off, please. Captain, please.
Harry Hooper
Captain.
really fired up.
Walk wide and don't tip tackle, cunt.
Go back, please. Captain. Please. We have 2 minutes more of this half. Up to now, you behave very well. Okay? It's free kick for your team. If I see again your team behaving that way, I can change the penalty. Okay? So stop it. Okay? It's free kick here because they didn't hook. Okay?
Tip tackle in that. Just in the middle.
Well, a few of the Australians become the groove
Just
with the
tell
tip
your
tackle.
players, I don't want that behavior again.
What behaviour
Okay.
is Kelly DeLuca referring to there?
So after the scrum, and clearly if you're scrimmaging as 7 men, to end up demolishing your opponents like that, you're going to be pretty pumped up about it.
Tupou. Lonigan for Hawkins.
Advantage, knock on. Knock on.
Little bobble there from Hawkins.
Number 5, knock on.
A little bit of edge about this game now, not always a bad thing, but you just got to channel it. So the reaction after the scrum was elation. If you can turn over a scrum with 7 compared to 8, you're going to get pumped up, but because of the nature of it, getting the old chest beating, bit alpha male if you will, referee didn't like it.
Just relax, okay? No, we're playing.
They are a bit chopsy, some of the Aussie forwards, you've got to say.
Sorry.
Some foul language.
Time off,
Chopsy,
please.
explain that for those watching on back in Australia.
That must be an English word. So
Clearly.
when you're a little bit in your face.
Good, perfect.
Fair to say. So a little bit aggravating.
You're an antagonist.
Pompous, perhaps.
Well, as you said, if you're down a man and you're serving up your opposing scrum, you're most likely going to be a little jacked up on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And you only have to watch something like NFL to see the reactions after a big shot or a sack-in. You know, these are pretty emotive times, and you're playing out there. The team have just had a man sent off.
Your head up, okay?
You're going to get pumped up. I think it's probably quite well handled from the referee, just to try and make sure he's got a measure of
I'm
it.
watching.
1 minute to go in this first half between Australia and Italy. Both sides vying for a shot at Argentina in the 5th place final. And that'll help relieve pressure for Italy. Australia nailed.
And that is called the retaliation. This should not be happening. That's exactly what the referee told the Australian team not to do. And that was a little bit like a pantomime scene.
I will tell him now. Captain, the same thing goes for you, okay? Tell number 4.
It's just a bit playground, isn't it?
Remember, this is rugby, you can't behave that way, okay?
Kelly DeLuca
Thank
saying
you.
this is rugby, you can't behave that way. And that's whose voice you can hear through our effects mic from Narbonne in the south of France. This match day 4 of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship. Looking to unearth the next group of World Rugby superstars.
No goal, back.
No doubt a number of these
Coming from the
youngsters will
side.
go through and rep at the top level in years to come.
That's obstruction by the side, number 4.
Angus Blythe ping there for going in at the side of the maul.
Number 4 by the side.
They've got to get a hold of this discipline, Australia. It's really getting in the way of their performance. Just tiny little errors that are then manifested into penalties and territory. With a classy, classy team that's got to make sure it's about the rugby, get themselves back in it. And the Italians now a chance to have a rare venture into the Australian half.
Line here.
Knocked on by the Italians, and Australia
Knock on.
look to close the half out by the boot of Tom Ross. who has cannoned the ball into the head of his scrum half. Tempers continue to flare.
What happened?
It's been a drama charge first half.
What happened?
Australia have just legged it to the sheds.
It's okay.
At the break, it's 15 points to 10 with the Aussies up.
Get through, Effie! Go, go, go!
Advantage. Check the tackle. Guppy, please. Advantage. Check the tackle. Guppy, please. Guppy, I think we have a advantage. Check the tackle. Guppy, please. Guppy, I think we have a no arm tackle.
This is the first images now. Got a higher shot for you now.
Have a ruck form, he tries to kick the ball. That's an illegal thing. For that action, you kick the head of an Italian player. I have no option, it's a red card.
What about there's a no?
Okay, TMO check. Advantage 11 offside. Good. Advantage over. Good call. Advantage, 11 offside. Good. Advantage over. Good call. Advantage, 11 offside. Good. Advantage over. Good call.
En novembre aura lieu la traditionnelle tournée d'automne. Ce sera l'occasion de retrouver le 15 de France qui se mesurera à l'Afrique du Sud, au Fidji, au Stade de France et à l'Argentine, à Lille, au Stade Pierre-Mauroy. La billetterie est ouverte, alors n'hésitez pas, rejoignez-nous sur anthems.fr pour venir supporter le 15 de France. Amis supporters, voici à présent une rétrospective des plus belles actions de ce championnat du monde des moins de 20 ans qui a débuté le mercredi 30 mai dernier. Les résultats de l'après-midi, en premier match, nous avons eu tout à l'heure l'Argentine qui a pris le dessus sur le pays de Galles, ici même 39 à 15, et à la mi-temps, donc, vous le savez, ici même, l'Italie 10 points, l'Australie 15. De la même façon, à la mi-temps, donc, l'Écosse domine l'Irlande 24 à 17 à Aimé-Giral.
Welcome back to Narbonne, where we are in the middle of a real scrap between Australia and Italy. This is the fifth place semi-final of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship, and it has been a fiery first term. Australia somehow hanging in there despite being reduced to just 14 men 20 minutes in. It was Michael Wood, the man who was shown the piece of red. So tough going for the Aussies against this unpredictable and cagey Italian outfit. I'm Sean Maloney, and alongside me for the call of the second half of this one, it is a good afternoon to former England Sevens captain, Rob Vickerman.
Well, it's fair to say there's a degree of controversy on this game. Sean, it's getting a little bit heated. That's why the referee is addressing the players now to say this will no longer continue. But never a bad thing to see passion on a rugby pitch. But when it spills over into a little bit of aggression, that's when you've got to be careful. 7 forwards for Australia. Going to have to really grind this out. They know they've got the capabilities in the back line to impress and worry the Italians. And the Italians are coming into this with nothing to lose.
Second term back underway. Australia up by 5 against Italy. Italy looking to put some shape on it, work it from their own 22. Tupou, that looks forward. Play on's the call. Now stabbed ahead. Quality handle from Biandelli. Now he goes back to receive the downfield kick from the Aussies. In turn, gets it to DeMarco. Harry Hooper, good cover defence from Hooper. Casilio, put down by Hawkins. Italy to the short side. That one is definitely forward in a touch. So the option for the scrum or line out, and you'd think being down a man, the Aussies might go for the line out. In fact, they go for the quick throw. Here comes Jordan Patea. Jordan Patea takes 2 with him. Stewart. Oh, that is
Advantage.
Through the horizontal. The tackle there from the replacement Italian prop, Nocera.
Can you see that, please?
Mafu. Quite a few changes being rung by the Italian coach, Fabio Caselli. And we're going to come back and have another look at the tackle from Matteo Nocera.
Yeah, Timo, check, please. I want to check the last tackle.
Just checking the tackle you mentioned about going through the horizontal, just to explain that further. If your legs picked up
coming now, mate.
beyond the horizontal line, and the sole discretion of you to bring them down. If you do not, you will be sanctioned for it. You can see the tip. Again, the Australian player putting his arm down. Protects him slightly. Blythe doesn't put his arms down. That continues to go. That motion goes into the ground with his shoulder. So first thing to look for, has he been picked up? Has he been dropped?
Good.
Is it on his shoulder or head?
Number 18 lift the goal player. He twist, shift. For me, that is a yellow card for 18. Good. What's the penalty? What is it? Call 18, please. 18, please.
You can hear Paulie De Luca talk through his thoughts. There's not much of a protest going on, a little bit of a puff of the cheeks.
A sense of resignation about it from Matteo Nocera. From Modena Rugby Club. Tip tackle brings a yellow card for the Italians, so it's 14 on 14 for the next 10. Stewart plugs it into the 22 of Italy. Marfi will come in and line it up.
So the collision, first of all, not bad, then goes for a second bite, and as soon as that body is rotated, that's when it becomes an issue. Now, this could not be under a bigger spotlight at the moment. These types of collisions
Thank you.
are trying to get removed. Any type of rotation, rather than hit and grab, you're going to get in trouble.
Australia peel away with it. It's a lovely line on the outside from Tupou. Very nearly got through. Another big carry from Patea on the hard line. 2 away. Australia with McWright. McWright gets it down. Brave running from Australia brings the try.
Careful, careful.
Well, we've seen how pumped up the Aussies are, and that is how you say something without saying many words. Just carry hard. First of all, Tupou, then Patea, and the third wave knocks down the try.
Thank you.
Fraser McWright. Take a look at this, great run in Tupou. Hit the first one, then Pataya came through a similar type of line, big hole. And then McWright twists and turns.
Okay.
What a good effort from these Aussies.
There were some aggro running lines from the Aussies outside backs, the youngsters, Pataya and Tupou, the teenagers, the 18-year-olds, going full berserker. So Lonergan sneaks through
Number
the conversion.
10, substitution.
And the Australian fans, a number of parents and friends and family here following their young men around, have enjoyed it.
We'll see the third one there, but Tupou did it all last year, didn't he? What a wonderful player he is. And Pataya hitting exactly the same line. They're the types of things you like to see as a coach. Hard running, not accepting a tackle, and getting a score for your benefit as well.
Hawkins. Solid run from Hawkins. Hoopert. Australia looking to lift the tempo while they're square for numbers. Now they kick him behind. Pataya wrapped up the Italian and drove him into the deck.
Release gold. Release gold.
Straight called out of it. Italy hang on. 5 gone in this second half, and it's Casilio box kicking. He's just put a little too much on that one, and Australia will have the line-out throw.
So another set piece with 7 forwards apiece. Almost balances it up, but you lose a jumper rather than a lifter.
This is your mark, okay?
Australia playing far better when they get a high tempo of the game. Want to play with the energy, they've got a skill set, they've got the big power runners in the middle. We expect to see off the top, get the guys in the middle going hard, and that's your platform. That's when Stuart can get in and pull those strings.
Mafu starts at the line out, and it's a good take from Hawkins. Stuart, here he comes again, Tupou. Edges over the advantage line. Tougher. Pumps his way through the Italian defenders. Mafu. Some real sting in these runs from the Australians now. Stuart gets it over the top. Pataya does a good job of hanging on to it, connects there with the most recent try scorer, Fraser McWright. Lonergan. Tougher again. Back short side, Stuart pops it in behind. Good chase out wide too, just wants that one to sit up. A touch, can they make the tackle? No is the answer, and Biandelli sets off, and then it all comes unstuck.
Oh, Biandelli clearly watching the Argentinians from that first game, thinking those types of offloads stick.
The line.
But it was in hope.
Blue over the line,
Lovely
please.
little attack of the
line
ball.
is your mark.
Stuart puts the big old pass in. That's a 25, 30-metre ball. Again, that combination. And then the fly, off he goes. Over the top, didn't quite work. He could have kept going, no one in front of him.
Ma'afu to the middle, Hawkins.
Back.
Drop back, McWright. Peels away, McWright. Fends off the tackle there of Canone. Hawkins again. Lonergan.
Still advantage goal.
Stuart, late switch for Tupou. Italy get the steal, go back for the penalty.
Contact in the air. 22. Contact in the air.
A few questions to be asked. And a little senior player huddle, put it to the corner, still got 7 on 7 in the forwards. The driving option is here. And take a look at the action areas. Significant time spent.
Last penalty, contact in the air. Careful with that.
In the Italian section. And look at that, 79. That's huge. Got to turn that into points. Comfortable enough 12-point lead at the moment.
Blythe, oh, it's over the top. It's a poor throw. And after enjoying that great field position, Patea's got to go back and tidy up Patea. Gets out of a couple. Patea just buys enough time for his support runners to come in and secure possession. Ross. Stewart deep, back in the pocket, flat bats it up the park, overcooks it, and that is some underwhelming rugby from Australia. They were 5 metres away from the Italian line, and back-to-back mistakes sent them back towards their 22.
I mentioned he loves kicking. That's actually the first bad kick we've seen from Stewart. You kick it out in the full from there, you get a lot of heads dropping. We'll just see the Italian defence getting stuck into the Australian. Hamish Stewart, interesting game management. He's got some serious arsenal on his outside. Just 6 carries himself, not carrying a huge amount, but it's just the amount of kicks in play.
Hold him. Hold him.
We need to play.
Yeah, 1 second, mate.
It's up to 18 kicks in play, which is a lot of kicks, albeit different ranges, different styles.
Goal.
And his partnership with Patea out wide has been fruitful for a couple. And the game slowly opens up. It might be more about the passing because he's got 2 ponies outside who I'd want to give the ball to.
Luckily for Australia, Jordan Patea is okay. He's up on his feet on that far side defending. Italy begin the wrestle, the grind.
He's okay, he's okay.
2 minutes with 14 v 14.
Good.
Through the line out comes Hockeys, and now they go hunting in and around the breakdown. Now counter Australia, stolen away by Ma'afu, got all over it. Key turnover. Back for Crichton. He slaps at one downtown. Biandelli back. Kunzel shapes up for the quick one.
Oh, I thought he was going to take that. That'd have been a lovely little ball. Stewart ran a nice little short line to him. Really good place to attack from. But of the 35 seconds that Italy have had the ball in this Australian half, for this second half, it gets turned over. What an effort it is from Afu. The man with the ball now, about to throw it in. Again, showing how good he is in the contact area and how much you need the rest of your forwards to step up in the contact area, having lost Wood in the first quarter.
Lonergan for Stewart. Stewart on the outside line goes Tupou. Samisi Tupou, Stewart again. There's Patea lurking out wide. They couldn't connect on that occasion. He was flying down that left wing. Ross. Lonergan dummying. Lonergan gets through. Lonergan. Good little line break there from Ryan Lonergan.
Release tackle!
On they go through Hoopert. Australia looking for back-to-back scores here. Lonergan loads him to the short side. Tupou. Oh, it's a risky ball at the back. And it's in a touch. It was forward also.
Right, certainly a speculator. And back the blind side. The 3-on-2 as it was, soon as Fusco steps in.
Someone outside is taking that.
You can tell the space was out there for Patea, but he's got to just give it in front of him rather than around the back. It's a difficult skill.
Here, yes.
And McTaggart
6.
clearly well versed with the skill
time off,
factor, but
6
just couldn't quite get the timing
and the
right.
yellow card is good. 6. Time back on captain's crown.
Okay, Italy back to their full complement. Australia still with
Scrum.
just 14 men on the park.
Good.
So they can only nail the Italians for 7 points in the absence of Leonardo Martini.
Coach. Bind. Set. The ball was hooked.
Both sides happy to go at it at scrum time.
Advantage.
Now
Use it,
penalty
blue
advantage for Italy. Up comes Tupou. They're going to go back for the penalty at
Okay,
scrum time.
number 1, angle.
Angle is the call against
Number 1,
Harry
stay
Hooper.
straight, please.
Well, it's a shame Albert Einstein's gone off in the first half because he could explain about the physics, but you're talking a significant dint in the weight of the packs. And if they hold it in long enough, the Italians, and they start marching forwards, it's a matter of time until the Australians turn in or stand up.
That's not going to go to touch. Down for Crichton. Finds Patea. Showed it to the outside and then was wrapped up by the Italian captain, Lamaro. Kunzel.
Tackle!
Australia just line their runners up. Mafu. Dynamic little runner. Tougher. Looked to Stewart, then went back to the traffic. Blythe. Long way down for Blythe. Kunzel. Stewart. Tupou. 8 phases for the Australians. They can stretch them to the left here. They might be shot, the Aussies. Mafu. Lonergan comes back short side again. Stewart kicks in behind. Looks for McTaggart, who is one of Australia's quickest, and looks to make the tackle on Italy's sole try scorer. That one will go to touch.
It's sometimes a little bit limited. As good as Stewart's kick was down the blind side, there was acres of space on the wide left. As soon as Australia get this hard running into play, the Italians really tighten up.
8.
And by that means there's a lot more space out wide. Just takes 2 or 3 link plays to get the ball out there. And we know what they're capable of in these final thirds of the pitch. It's just getting the ball there.
Please,
That's
your
the
team with
difficult
you.
thing at the moment.
Captain.
Always for looking for balance in terms of the fly half statistics. And at the moment, Stewart, for me, is not really looking at
Time
this
off.
running game. Get the ball, cross the hands, get into the spaces, get those secondary lines you so often see in the game now. And it just frees up people's running.
We saw how dangerous he is with ball in hand. With the leading role he played in Australia's first try, that was an absolute corker. Mafu getting some running repairs on his shoulders, and
Good.
don't know that he's going to be okay.
Time
Or
back
is he?
on. Remember?
There for Tusi Mafu. Okay.
He's got through a bucket load of work, Mafu.
So close the cap.
It's 11 carries from a man who's also got to do the scrumming and the line-outs. Pivotal around the place. A couple of significant turnovers as well, Mafu.
Lonergan, he's not the man you want in the mix of big bodies at line-out time, but he does a good job of hanging on to it. Mafu, again. He's a tackle-busting machine this afternoon. Rory Sutter. Handy first carry from him too, Kunzel. Oh, that is another venomous run from Hupert.
Good turnover.
Australia just stomped their way through the breakdown. Stewart kicks it across for McTaggart. Out on the flight. Might be worth just sleeving that play for a while and keeping ball in hand.
Yeah, he's seeing space, but if you look at the top of the shot there, there's also the one in the bottom corner. You try and build pressure like that, you kick it a bit deeper. Unless McTaggart's going to be catching it, it was always going to be a turnover tackle. Difficult to see Wood on the bench.
Okay.
Not feel a bit sorry for him.
I'm going to work hard on there. Wait.
But the team have done admirably without him. We've got to really put some big raps to this Australian pack. Hawkins carried like an absolute trooper as well.
Nice work at the rolling maul from Italy.
Same maul.
Australia to recoup. They come around and try and shut down this threat of the Italians. They peel away through Coffee. Canone.
Release
Canali.
goal!
Number of replacements. Rizzi. This guy is lethal. The Italian left-hand winger. Giovanni D'Onofrio, always looking to create. Ma'afu does the hard work in tight. Sucks in a couple more defenders. Frees up the angle for Hamish Stewart to clear if he wants it. Australia working that extra pod.
Hold.
And now Lonergan back for Stewart. Almost charged down. Hoping that one will swing to touch. It won't on a free up. Back in field for Rizzi. Australia have to slide here. Is that knocked on? No. It's stabbed ahead and it's going to go into the in goal. And it'll be a 22 restart.
Well, the first real injection of pace from this Italian outfit for a fair old while. They get absolutely dominated with that possession, but when they get it, they look pretty good. Accurate running, straight running. Gave him a benefit of the doubt with that little flick on. Probing kick down, hits the corner flag, which is obviously play on still. And now back to the 22. I've got to say, in terms of these carries, the front five from Australia really are stacking up. Hupert, Mafu and Ross all approaching double figures, if not already there. Mafu 12 in particular is grinding it out. But for Ross as well to be on 11, that's impressive numbers, isn't it?
Massive for a front row trio. Coffee, this guy was a real spark for his side in their opening win against Scotland. He basically lifted them to the win up in Béziers 2 weeks back. Tupou over the top. That's a straight turnover for the Aussies.
It's okay.
Tupou, such a wonderful player. Getting the back slaps for putting your head where it hurts. He's a really classy player. One of these guys with time, pace, balance. He's looking good.
Excuse me?
And here he's in defence.
One
Again, chop
goal,
tackle.
substitution. Time
As
off.
soon as the ball can be identified, you get your arms over it, you get yourself
Stand
set.
back on.
Maybe hope a little bit and get the penalty.
So Harry Hupert's big day comes to a close. He will sleep well tonight, Harry Hupert. That line out spot on for Subtle. Stewart goes himself. Coffee catches him. George Francis. Almost broke clear. Another run from Francis. Ross needs help. Touch isolated there. Lonergan goes in and cleans up. Subtle for Hawkins. Scored his side's opening try. Mafu getting close. If one man deserves a try, it's Mafu. Centreman his way. Francis, George Francis. Try.
Yes, it was.
Well, Francis, if he gets up from that pylon, he'll dust himself down after making, well, 4 carries on the bounce. It's hard to stop a ball when it's moving forward. He certainly is that, isn't he? The size of him, when he gets going, so dynamic. He twists, he turns, he just refuses to stop. And here's the first one. Get out of the way, keep it going. Gets in behind, that's 4 people attempting the tackle, which means there's a significant gap in behind. He gets up, he does it again, working the way to the try line. And after Mafu's effort, this is Francis once more. Getting a little bit more effort to get that arm out, to reach it down and score it. That is what you call impact. Well played, coaches. That is a tactical substitution nailed on.
Conversion, good from Lonergan. 29-10 now. And it's the 14-man Australians going along okay. Still plenty of time in a run if you're an Italian supporter. Upper man, and no doubt that'll take a toll late in this one. Australia losing Matty Wood after 20 minutes of play. Red card for him. Michael Wood, rather. That one is out on the fly, and Australia will pack the scrum down. Back on halfway.
So much can be seen about body language and players. And as soon as that kick went out on the full, every single Italian head dropped. Now that says a lot in terms of a game that comes down often to tenacity, to how much it means to your heart. Normally, that's what makes these Italian teams stand out, their effort levels. So they've still got the advantage in the scrum, which they'll continue to have. And that needs to be the bedrock for them to get themselves out of this little bit of a lull and try and get back in the game. They look like they're beaten.
Sit.
On again with a quick feed, strike, kick. Down to Bindelli. Classy player, Bindelli over the top. McWright wins the turnover. And you talk about body language, Rob Vickerman. Well, that little run of play says it all.
Enthusiasm is infectious. The Australian want to get on with it, get going. Tactically now, just think about putting the 3 points over, really grinding down this, pretty much game, set and match in terms of the scoreline, but they need to keep building. They've done incredibly well to do so without the blindside flanker, especially how well they've done in the breakdowns.
Let's go.
And there, Fraser McWright really taking the mantle. You lose a third of your back row unit.
Okay.
It means all the more when you get the turnovers.
Which player?
Lonergan. 16 in from touch. The breeze coming right to left and into his face a touch. He's judged it beautifully. Draws it through, and Australia hop out to a 22-point lead.
And they're maintaining the territory, they're maintaining the possession, Australia. Fans and family looking on.
Actually ate alongside Tom Ross and Ryan Lonergan's parents last night. They looked very much at home here in the south of France and have enjoyed watching what the green and gold next generation of Wallabies have been up to over the last couple of weeks here too. This has been their best performance by some way. Well, just hung on to their high tackle, the call. Through goes Biondelli across Di Onofrio, chasing his hat-trick. Di Onofrio in a touch.
Well, a couple of short, sharp blasts there.
Okay.
Control to the line out.
Good.
Before the
Cappy, can you hear me?
Yes, Pali, go
Certainly
ahead.
looked like touch.
We want to know first is if the man is in touch, and if he's not in touch, if he grounded the ball.
So looking for potential in touch and then grounding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mate.
McTaggart playing a bit of touch, it seemed, on that first tackle. Managed to get back and disrupt.
Well, Di Onofrio's not even interested. He's back on his haunches, 30 metres away from the plate.
Spot with choice here.
You go right, I'll go left. Is he in a touch, though, or is he in the air?
He's following his legs on the right-hand screen. They're wrapped up, and then he rolls, which is fine. He seems some way short there, but then reaches out. It's just whether he actually puts the ball down. If that rolls on a little bit further, on the right-hand side, you'll see he roll the ball. His legs are in the air. Orange boots gives it away. So his legs are fine.
What are you thinking, Rob Vickerman?
Well, it looked like he was in touch and didn't even try and ground it, but that, in replay, looks like it's down.
Are his knees not in a touch? Wait for it. Watch his knees on right of screen.
Trying to get the timing of the right-hand clip where his feet were in the air.
Hey there, Pali.
Yeah.
The ball has been grounded over the line.
Wow.
Okay.
Award the try.
Okay.
Wow.
Strike.
It's hat-trick time. It's hat-trick time. Woo-wee. Giovanni Di Onofrio, well done, son.
Well, well done. But you've got to question the Australian defence. McTaggart manages to get back. Donofrio stops, starts, gets the spin on him. That's 2 missed tackles in the space of 20 yards from him. But what a way to get a hat-trick. Let's focus on the positives. Broken tackle on the inside, gives it to the supporting Donofrio, and that little stop-start there buys him the time and the space, the physical ability to ride that tackle, spin, then roll, and put the ball down. Donofrio is taking this tournament by storm, single-handedly, for this Italian team.
All-important conversion coming up here from Antonio Ruzzi. "17 points, the difference." Trying to pull it back through. It just hangs out to the right. So it stays. Australia 32, Italy 15.
Lovely step, bust through it. Again, without making too much question about the tackling. The supporting play in behind, that stop-start was enough to seal it. And in terms of finishing on this World Rugby Under-20 Championship, Donofrio, he's got his name very close to the top of the list.
On it.
Tackler, no!
Nice line. Lovely chip on as well. Donofrio's out to the left, won't get a touch initially. They go downtown, back goes Patea, he tidies up for Australia. Jordan Patea. Biondelli grabs him with some room in behind as well if he had got through there. Andiamo, let's go, say the Italians.
Well, a lovely interplay. First of all, the lead ball across, and this little bit of magic there, Rizzi. He's come on, and he's stepped into the mantle.
Wait.
Lovely touch, gets the ball out wide, and now it's got a bit of life back into this Italian team.
They have a throw, Ma'afu. Just has been everywhere. Stewart steadies and kicks, rips that one across the park. Little settler for his big men.
Yeah, it's out and out. Make forwards happy by make them go forwards. That's all they want to do. Plod to the next line out, get set.
Over the line, okay.
Faltering Italian line out.
The line, the white line, thank you.
And this is how you get control of games. It's
Over
really good play
The line,
from
please.
Stuart there. You control the tempo as a 10, control the position and the possession, and put a little bit of pressure back on this Italian team, who I do think are going to crank it. They're going to look to play a lot more now.
Out jump there, though, as Blythe goes up in front of his opponent, steals the line out. Mafu again. His 14th carry of the afternoon. Good run from Bailey Kunzel.
Advantage. Offside, pass forward.
That was fairly clear cut. Offside goes against Canone, and Lonigan might even just come in and have another pop at the sticks.
Yeah, they'll have a look at it. I have just checked, scanned the field. There is only one Mafu. He is all over the shop. Interesting now, putting it to the corner. I'd say at this point, kill the game off. Go for the goal personally, but
Substitution.
it's all about systems, about working
You're the new captain?
with a new team, getting the patterns in place.
Ryan Lonigan comes off, Tate McDermott goes on.
Mark, okay.
Good day out from little Ryan Lonigan out of the Vikings club in Canberra. Into the final 10 we go. Australia have been forced to do this the hard way. They've had 14 men since the 20-minute mark. Kunzel looked up, just cha-chinged it right back to Italy. Now Coffey.
Advantage over.
Quick recycle in the kick downtown, and that is going to stay in the field of play. They get a good chase on two through Ritchie. Patea slings it to McDermott. Dangerous stuff. Coming away from their own 22, but it's worked out all right. Stewart gives his forward pack a breather and finds touch.
Some would say dangerous, I prefer exciting. On your 22, running out the right hand. Why not? He's a good player, isn't he, Patea? I've been really impressed with him. With a couple of good runs. Very physical presence. Did a bit of damage against New Zealand as well.
Ritchie sent it out the back. Kunzel almost got his hands on it. Got some support eventually. Now McDermott kicking, cannoning it. This time round, Kunzel pulls it in. McDermott, I've seen him play a bit of Aussie Sevens as well as with the Queensland Reds in Super Rugby. Easy to pick out with the head taped up. Mafu, speaking of guys easy to pick out, he's an easy spot because he has been all over the joint.
You say to every other word as well, it's just incredible.
McDermott fending and offloading for Francis. He's got a try already. George Francis rumbled it up with 4 carries and then jagged the try on the other side. Hawkins, another of the try scorers for Australia. McDermott still going. McDermott keeps it alive. Away goes Subtle. In turn, clears it for his open side flank, who reaches out and gets his second. Fraser McWright ices it for Australia.
Well, McWright, as you mentioned before, has had to step up.
He's saying sorry for the...
As he apologises, hear what the referee's saying. They're saying sorry for falling on him, but again, enterprising. The energy you get, injection of pace coming off the bench from McDermott. Lovely support play, like all good sevens the world over, but especially in Australia. They're never too far away from the ball.
Thank you.
There's significant role models for this man in Australian rugby, and Hooper and Pocock, and they'd have been proud with that one. Even more so for his second.
We speak of David Pocock and Michael Hooper, both products of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship. Couple of awesome graduates, those two. Pocock enormous for the Wallabies the other night against Ireland. Conversion is going to be waved away from Will Harrison, and we've got 5 to go. 22 points, the difference once more.
Speculative little throw on the inside. Great support play, first off from Suter, and then, as with all sevens, sniffing a chance.
Ori Sator added some real energy to his
Hold blue, stop.
forward pack since coming on. Stewart. Biondelli's had a good day. McDermott. McWright, there he is again. The man with a pair, McWright. Still going, McWright. Ross, huge minutes for the big tight head. Ross is under an injury cloud coming into this one. He's delivered an A1 performance. No issues. Kunzel, Bailey Kunzel. Kunzel gets a chance to slam his foot on the accelerator, and Australia really enjoying themselves now.
Kunzel running straight and hard, as this Australian team have done all afternoon. Congratulations for the first try in the tournament, and it has been well earned. He's the best as a 12. Love to run hard, straight lines. Left foot step through the middle. A little bit of a Mark Gerrard about him. How about that one? Gliding through the middle.
Another good reference. Similar shape to Gerardo, former Wallaby and Brumby as well, Super Rugby champion.
Classic Wallaby.
He is a classic Wallaby.
You're running more than the players.
But it was a great score. That's what you want.
Just a couple to go now. So just another reminder, Australia will reduce to 14 men after 20 minutes of play, with Michael Wood red-carded. And has mattered not. This has been a dominant performance against a team that could quite easily upset you, the Italians. William Harrison out of Randwick. Big raps on this kid back home too. Harrison stripes it through.
Well, anyone that addresses a kick like that, they're going to be pretty special, aren't they? Here's a look at the try again. Kunzel just going dead straight. Fastest way to the try line, straight line.
As we go to 10 in Australia. They will take the scrum, thank you very much, Pali DeLuca.
Bit of a capitulation from the Italian team here. Just the little things that have been going wrong. I highlighted before, probably about 15, 20 minutes ago, that change of body language. Now, when that happens often, it's the little tiny things that start to go wrong. They've got a bit of hope value in that bottom left-hand corner with the star man, Dono Frio, scoring, but ultimately, they've not played to their abilities this afternoon. That will upset and disappoint the Italians.
Coach! Bind! Set! When that's it. You are new props, okay? Remember, we must have a gap after the bind. Good?
I don't think Australia will mind. Rob Bicknell, the clock keeps ticking.
A gap after the bind, please.
No, although I imagine they probably don't want to be doing too many more scrums. They've done enough with 7 men. You get a bit lopsided. See now, they put Taffa back at 8, with no one on the left-hand side of the scrum, but right on the right-hand side. But it's been wonderfully marshaled. I think you talk about losing players, what it does, how it impacts. There's significant things we can talk about, but ultimately the game management as well. I think that's worth saying. Both Longer and initially, and Stewart. McDermott, since he's come on, getting a real grab of the game. putting the players in the right way, making forwards go forward when you sense they need it. And in terms of territory and possession, it's been all Australia. Gain line success for me the most significant thing, because they have just battered down this Italian defence.
Some space, please. Thank you.
Hard to pick an MVP for Australia out of this one as well. I think Martha would have his name a long way towards the top of the list. Hawkins, Ross was good as well. So too Hupert, a well-rounded performance. How about that ball at the back from McDermott for Kunzel? Kunzel keeps it alive to the outside. They go Australia. Still with the Aussies, looking to blow out Italy late in this one. Hansen, another pop ball. Sparkling 20s rugby across the back end of this. There's a bit of confusion there in the old what's doing, mate, from the Aussie side as they look to get the cohesiveness back. Still in the face plate. Francis again. George Francis, the enormous unit. Here's the line. McDermott short side. Tupou, one out. Hawkins. Francis. George Francis. Francis! He's over the line, but he can't get it down. Held up's the call. And full time follows. Full time, and Australia will face Argentina in the 5th place final. Too good for Italy in this one. The score, 44-15. Well, that was some kind of performance from the Aussies. So many of them put their hands up and said, all right, time to go to work. We're down to 14 men, and they finished all over the top of Italy. The man who is alongside Tom May had a quality performance. He's all smiles for the moment. Ryan Lonergan winning captain and with Tom May.
Ryan, an amazing performance, some outstanding individual performances as well as the collective, and all done with 14 men.
Yeah, you know, it was always going to be a tough game, and then we knew it was going to be a really tough game, especially at set piece, and then to lose that forward with a red card, you know, was really unfortunate. But full credit to the Piggies, you know, they really stood up and, you know, did the hard yards, so us backs could score a couple of tries.
I was about to say, how much congratulations do you need to give to that front five, especially the amount of carries they got through was sensational, and then the collective effort to just keep going to the 80th minute.
Yeah, that's it. You know, our tight five's really been sort of, you know, killing it through the whole comp, and then today for them to step up like that, especially on a hot day, you know, it's credit to them. And then, you know, we knew Italy were going to be tough for the whole 80, but at half-time we sort of just said stick to our structure, and then points will come. So, yeah, it was good.
And a massively physical contest coming up this weekend against Argentina. You might have caught the end of their game, I guess, as you were warming up. Are you looking forward to playing them?
Yeah, really exciting, you know. Don't know a whole lot about them yet, but we'll review, and I'm sure they'll be a really exciting team to verse.
Congratulations on today. Best of luck for match day 5.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Well, the cohesiveness has certainly arrived for Australia. There's no doubt about that. That a really polished 80 minutes with just 14 men for 60 of those 80. Their big names all stood up. Tupou, Patea, Stewart and the rest of the gang. Too good for Italy. Back to Tom, who's with the losing captain.
No doubt a disappointing result against Australia, but you were starved of possession by them. How did you find that going up against them, especially when they had 14 men?
I think that the red card for them should be firstly a penalty for them, but I don't know why. I don't know, but exactly when they had the red card, we went down with the mentality. I don't know why we didn't accelerate, but we fly down. And now it's hard because they are a very good team.
And you've had some great performances, wins against Scotland, wins against Argentina, and a hat-trick for Donofrio again today. There are a huge amount of positives to be taken from this tournament for you as an Italian side.
Oh, sure, we've done a great tournament till the match against Argentina, but that's not a reason why to do this matches today. We didn't came into the field with the mentality to win the game. We wanted to win it, but it wasn't the real good approach to the match. So nothing.
Unlucky today. Best of luck for match day 5. Best of luck for match day 5.
Thanks.
Well, classy words there, spoken from the Italian skip. He's a tremendous player. He will represent the Azzurri, no doubt about it, in years to come. Mikel Lamaro. Full time, though, it's his team that have gone down by a margin of 29 against the Aussies.
Careful, careful.
Tudo!